self-care can be whatever nurtures that person's soul. So at a foundational level, self-care, or the three pillars of self-care, are diet, exercise, and sleep. So when we're stressed, that's where it tends to hit the hardest. We're not eating healthy, we're not getting a good night's sleep, and we're probably just vegging on the couch instead of, going for a walk or releasing the tension that's built up all day.
Welcome to my podcast, Over 40 and Fabulous, the show that helps you live your best life no matter your age. I'm Robin Thomas, and I'm the founder of Living Well Connections, a healthy living community that supports, educates, and empowers us all to make healthy decisions toward a more balanced and fulfilling life. I have a background in medical research, and I love exploring the interplay of our physical, mental, and spiritual selves. This weekly show is your haven for real talk, science-backed solutions, and inspiration from women who get it. Dr. Ellen Contenti is the founder of Heart Centered Programs, a training and consulting company. She's a licensed stress mastery coach and the creator of Banish Burnout Blueprint. She works with leaders and individuals to help them build sustainable self-care practices and create a life they love. Hi, Dr. Ellen. It is so nice to have you come join us and have a wonderful conversation today.
Thank you, Robin. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, as you know.
Yes. We sort of we're living the part of our conversation about stress,
yeah.
and how to deal with it and how to work with it and how to not have it affect you as strongly as it sometimes can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. People who, this podcast is Over 40 and Fabulous. So I've noticed as people age, they start developing different strategies. And sometimes the strategies might be debilitating strategies, and sometimes strategies spur them on. But can you tell us a little bit about how you work with people and just the fact of dealing with stress? That it's not everybody out to get us, but what is it?
Absolutely. Well, stress is not out to get us. Actually, stress, or the stress response, is it's a normal response. When we think a thought that creates stress, like, oh my God, I'm never going to get all my things done today, or oh my God, the traffic is so bad. The thought creates a stress response in the body. So the body releases adrenaline and cortisol to prepare you to handle whatever that situation or event is. So it's quite normal to have a stress response. The difference between people that are stressed out all the time and people that have learned healthy coping strategies is recognizing, number one, I can change my stress response by changing my thought. So instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get all this done, I think, well, I have a lot on my plate, but I'm just going to go through things one at a time, and I'll finish what I can finish, and the rest I'll do tomorrow, for example. Or the one I would always use when I lived in California around traffic, which was, just horrific. It would take 10 times as long as you would think to get anywhere. I had to develop a healthy coping strategy to that. So I wasn't arriving at my clients look like I put my finger in an electric socket because I would be so stressed out. So I developed a mantra that basically said, with ease and grace, I will arrive, on time. And 9 times out of 10, I actually did get there on time. But even if I was late, I was cool, calm, and collected, because you can't control a lot of things that we stress about. And that's, one of the key takeaways is that if you really think about most of the things we do stress about, we don't really have control over it. I don't have control over the weather. I don't have control over the traffic. I mean, I can maybe take a different route. I could try to leave a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
but I don't really have control over the rest of it. And so when we recognize that most of the stress we experience is self-induced, I'm like, well, why would I want to do that to myself? Right? Especially if I want to be over 40 and fabulous. We don't.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm way over 40. So I'm like, And that's one of the things that I do tell my clients too, is that, age really is a state of mind. I have done more in my 50s and 60s than I did in my 20s and my 30s. So we definitely can be even more fabulous as we get older.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I found that the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel better than I did in my early 30s when I was totally stressed out in my early 30s. And, becoming a new mom and all the, business and work and everything. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Let's just take a breath.
Yeah.
I love nature. So anytime I can step outside and enjoy even just my backyard, that absolutely helps me just ground.
Yeah.
And then come back. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So yeah, and you can help a lot. You do an awful lot to help people and realize this. Realize this. So tell me a little bit about other ways we can reduce that stress response in our life.
Well, you said a key thing, which was getting out in nature. To reduce the stress response basically means, number one, if I can recognize the thoughts that are creating stress for me, also knowing what triggers that stress response so that I can be more prepared before I get into my car or before I sit down to start my day, before I look at my, to-do list. So preparing yourself ahead of time is a great way to help you better manage things that create stress. But it's also having sustainable self-care practices, and highlight, emphasize, circle the word sustainable, because anyone could put something into practice that will work for a short period of time. Whenever you talk to somebody who maybe went on a diet and they lost a bunch of weight, but they end up gaining it back because what they used to lose it wasn't sustainable. So we have to make sure when we think about self-care practices that it's something that I can do every day that's going to really support me. What does my morning routine look like? What am I doing throughout the day to make sure that I'm managing, my energy, and that I'm taking those little micro breaks so that, by the end of the day, I've got some, gas still left in the tank to go enjoy my family, my friends, my activities, the things that I enjoy doing. So we need to also look at, the end of our day, our bedtime routine. Is that supporting a good night's sleep so that when I wake up tomorrow, I've got the energy for the next day? So it's putting together different practices, both from a long-term proactive perspective, of healthy habits, and also having good tools in your stress relief toolkit in the moment when I'm feeling stressed. So stepping outside and breathing in some fresh air, putting your feet in the grass. And let's say you live in the city and there's no grass. Well, just get some fresh air, listen to the birds. Even just looking out a different window can make a big difference. Because when we're always looking at the same view, if that's creating stress, literally look at a different window. Step out, into the hallway so you can think more clearly. So reframing is something that you can do in the moment to help you relieve stress as well.
That's wonderful. I love that you mentioned developing habits, because that's one thing I build my life around, is working on developing habits that become so natural that I don't think, at first you kind of stop and think, okay, I should, I'll do this. And also little key things like at those little mini breaks, you say.
Yeah.
I have alarms on an alarm, just a little chime alarm. It's not a harsh alarm.
Yeah.
A little chime alarm that's like, it's basically telling me to get up and get away from the computer and go outside for a minute or go get a cup of tea or something as a break. And the alarm is nice. And I just have it, my alarm, I named it Find Joy.
I love that. Find joy.
And that just, it's just one way to help get started. And then, developing these habits and just making it a lifestyle of self-care. That's not selfish.
No.
Self-care is not selfish.
It's not selfish. And unfortunately, we were raised, most of us, that we're supposed to take care of everybody else first. Right? It's that oxygen mask concept when you get on the airplane and they tell you in the event of cabin pressure change, and the oxygen mask drop from the ceiling, if you're traveling with others, especially small children, put your mask on first before you help others. Because if you're passed out, you can't help anybody else. And if we're burnt out in our lives, we can't take care of our families, our friends, our jobs, our community, our spiritual centers. So I tell my clients that self-care not only is not selfish, but it's the highest form of love for others. So if you're telling me I can't take care of myself, I don't have time to take care of myself because I have my job, my kids, my spouse. Like, well, if you're depleted, you can't take care of them. So if you truly love your family, then self-care is the highest form of love that you can show them so that you can be your best for the people that you love. Not only yourself. I mean, we need to take care of ourselves because, right, self-love is part of that. So it's finding that delicate balance between, the things I'm going to do just for me and the things I'm going to do for me because I want to be there for other people as well. So, and I did want to also acknowledge that, you have those alarms that are on your phone, because many times we set good intentions, but then we forget, right? Oh yeah, that's right. I promised myself today I was going to get up every hour and take a break. So having those little chimes is a good way to do that. And I actually start my day with an alarm that, on their phones today, as we know, we can pre-program them to say whatever we want them to say. So my first alarm goes off in the morning and it says, "Good morning, gorgeous." It's going to be a great day. And
I love
hearing that, because what a great way to start your day, right? Instead of, time to get up.
Instead of, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great. So, you make it fun.
Yes.
Self-care, people think, oh, well, I need to do this. They'll make it a chore almost.
Yeah.
I need to do self-care. So I need to, and massages are fun. I mean, massages can be great,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not exactly it when we're talking about self-care. We're talking about, it's nice to have a massage. I'm not going to say it's not nice to have a massage.
Well, and it is. I mean, self-care can be whatever nurtures that person's soul. Mm-hmm. So at a foundational level, self-care, or the three pillars of self-care, are diet, exercise, and sleep. So when we're stressed, that's where it tends to hit the hardest. Mm-hmm. We're not eating healthy, we're not getting a good night's sleep, and we're probably just vegging on the couch instead of, going for a walk or releasing the tension that's built up all day. But self-care is also, getting that massage. It's also, going out with your friends. It's also, going on that vacation or that weekend away that you've always wanted to do. It's what nourishes you, what puts a smile on your face, what is adding to your life, and thinking about all the domains in our lives: personal, professional, family, health, finances, spirituality, all of that. Self-care is investing our time in the areas that are important to us, that we value, that makes our lives meaningful. So self-care is going to look different for every single person.
So true. So true. Yeah, I really resonate with that, because one of my favorite things to do with self-care is actually weed my garden.
Uh-huh.
People look at that, what? But I love it, because I'm really in the present. I don't really think about anything else when I'm weeding.
Right.
Very much in the present, enjoying being outdoors, enjoying the plants, having something that when you finish it, you can look back and go, doesn't that look great?
I completely agree with you. And having, I'm in a new house. It's not a new house. It's new to me. Coming from an apartment, I've got to do a lot of weeding. And I realize too that for the same thing that you're sharing, when I'm in the weeds, literally pulling the weeds, and I'm not thinking about the work that I, still on my desk. I'm not thinking about the dishes in the sink, the things that create stress. I'm just present. And when you're in your five senses, that mindful activities that we can do, that's one of the number one stress relievers, is to be fully present in what you're doing. And anytime you can do something that ticks off multiple domains, so if it supports me physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and it's just one activity that does all those things, that's when you want to make sure you're sustaining, because you don't want your self-care practice to be so overwhelming that you're like, oh my God, there's no way I can do all of that. And that creates stress.
And that also is the mindset. Because I can see coming into a new, a house that's new, a yard that you haven't tended, that needs a lot of tending, you can look at it and get overwhelmed. Your mindset, have it feel overwhelmed. Or any task that we do, anything that people are doing. But if you look at it in micro projects, with micro projects, you can get that sense and celebrate the small wins.
And that's exactly what it is. It's those small wins. And, I do believe that micro projects, micro moments, micro breaks, they add up over time, because we don't always, have even 10 minutes. Sometimes, you're literally back to back. Many people working today, we're back to back meetings. We're back to back, responsibilities. It's like we're rushing from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And we don't have a lot of white space in our calendars. So to take even a 10-minute break sometimes seems, I don't have 10 minutes, but you have 30 seconds. And in 30 seconds, you could do some deep breathing. You can stand up and stretch. You can step outside and get some fresh air. And you do that throughout the day. You'll find that at the end of the day, wow, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. Because one of the things that I've realized with most of my clients is, the biggest lament people have is, I don't have time for X. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to create, to cook a healthy meal at the end of the day. I don't have time. But what I find is actually you do have the time. What you don't have is the energy. So self-care really is about managing your energy throughout the day and noticing what depletes it and noticing what adds to it. So when we better manage our energy throughout the day, not only do we have more time than we realize, but we have the energy to enjoy those activities. And that's the key. No matter what's going on in the world, and there's a lot going on in the world, we still need to enjoy our lives. Life is meant to be enjoyed. So having those micro moments of joy are so important. Those TikTok videos or the cat videos or whatever they are that put a smile on your face, right? That's so important. It's so important. That's why I gave myself the title of Chief Positivity Officer, because I want to be that face to the world that says, no matter what's going on, you can still be positive, optimistic, and enjoy your life. So,
absolutely. What a lesson. That's a wonderful lesson to learn and to keep in my heart. Well, thank you so much. I know that my audience is going to want to reach out to you, and they're going to want to find out more. And you have a couple of things that you offer.
I do.
You have a wonderful self-care workbook to help us get started on some of these lifestyle, taking care of yourself, self-care.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you can just go to the website, Heart Centered Programs. And in the resource section, there's a number of resources that you can download. And the self-care workbook is one of them. And you can go through that on your own. But if you want to work with me as well to put together a sustainable self-care practice, you can reach out to me. You can connect through the website. You can find me on LinkedIn. In today's day and age, I think, you can pretty much find anybody almost anywhere.
That's true. And to make it simple, I'm going to, you have given me a lot of those links, and I'll be able to put those links in the show notes. So because people also like easy.
Yes. Easy. Let's hit that easy
button. Search for people all the time, but you can you have that link to just click on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it is a joy to talk with you. Thank you so much, Ellen.
You're welcome, Robin. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining me at my Over 40 and Fabulous podcast. Please let me know if you have any questions about this episode. I will publish new episodes at noon Eastern on Saturdays, so you can listen and watch at your convenience. If this podcast has been helpful for you, Please share it on your favorite social media platform or share directly with your fantastic friends. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next episode.